Good morning. Okay, so this is our fourth class, and we'll go ahead to start up Visual Studio. Sorry, this is not our fourth class. This is our fourth practical class. Yeah. The other times we talked and stuff. So I'll go ahead and start up Visual Studio. Of course, we start our project. Going to be here. If you don't want to open it from here, you can just go to File, Open, Website, and then you locate it where it is. So if you have your application loaded, the next is to run the PDF. So to run the PDF, and here it is. Done so much. We are in okay. Are you the one taking them in the class? No. Okay. Anyway, so we should be in in page 46, in page 47 rather, on the PDF, page 47. Okay, before we go to page 47, I skipped something the last time. That's it's in page 43. Leave the video now. Go to the PDF first. In page 43, understanding the new input types in HTML5. I hope you have started. We will look at the new input types in HTML5. The following input types are mentioned here. So we've been able to look at date and placeholder in our last class. So today we'll be looking at how to achieve search. After the success of Google as a search engine, we can see a search box facility almost everywhere on the web. The search box is used on almost all websites to find information on that website or the web in general. In HTML5, we can create a search box using the input type as search. The search box looks like a normal text box, but it is used for search purpose. So for this class, we will go back to the Visual Studio app, and we were in web forms. We were able to create a form that has some of the inputs properties that we needed. That's a text box that would hold user inputs for bio data, and we were able to create a search box. And I gave an assignment that you should create a form for registration that will contain everything from name to the last name. So first name, last name, phone number, email address, local government, nationality, state of origin, all those information. It's an assignment, so I hope you know. After watching the video, you should be able to create a form like that. So in this class, you should go ahead and add a new web form and call it search, or rather call it text box property or text boxes. Just call it text boxes, because we will use it to look at some other property of some other text box. So I'll go ahead and add a new web form and call it text box. And I'll add it. So in this page, okay. So the thing I'll do here now is that if you've added that form and called it text boxes, you would notice that you come in between the div like we normally do, and you add a text box and a button. How do you add a text box? Go to toolbox on the left or on the right, depending on where you kept it on your system, on your interface. Add a text box and then add a button under it. Hit enter and add a button. Yes. Go to toolbox, locate a text box. You see that down below. Just double click on it, it will appear where your cursor is blinking. Your cursor should be blinking in between the div on the form you just created. So add a text box, and you can change the ID of the text box to be search. So I'm going to name the text box search txt, and I'll change the text on the button to be go. If I do that, the property, remember what we want to achieve in this text box is how to search. Text box? Yes. Are you on 2? This is 2 box. I said go to 2 box. You see text box. I said text 2 boxes on the left or on the right, and you're looking for it on top. So if you added a text box, hit enter, come to the next line, and then add a button. So you should have what I'm seeing on my screen right now, a text in between the div, that's the open div and the close div tag. You should have a text box and then a button under it. And then here, I changed the ID of the text box. You are seeing ASP text box ID equals search ID. I changed it from text box 1 or text box to search txt, run at server. And then after run at server, this is very important. If you were in the last class or if you watched the video, you should know what I'm talking about now. After you are not in toolbox, yes, right. You have closed toolbox, now you close that right forward, so it's not that's close box. So how do you add? I taught you how to add what you. So where do you get it from? When you remove it. So if you're calling me back for small things like this, how would you expect me to run fast? Which one is it? Let me check you. Okay. I don't think it would work because we don't have internet connection. So if I go here, if I come to the text box and okay, to tell user that I really want the person to search for something here, you know, I can add some of those properties we got from the last class. Is in the video. After the search, hold on now, look at this. After the search, I can add some of those properties and say placeholder equals, we introduced placeholder in the last class, so you should watch the video. Placeholder equals search, and then I can also introduce autofocus here. Autofocus. So if I introduce autofocus and then save, if I view in browser, you will notice some things. The cursor will be blinking in the text box immediately. We didn't have that before, and we have search appearing inside the text box. And then once a user starts typing, even without clicking, it's able to pick what the user is typing in immediately. So if there was an internet connection and I said go, it will search the web and bring out search results for this search query that I have put in. So if, for instance, I added name and I'm searching for name on Google, once I hit go, it will search Google by itself and get results for the search query. Okay. Autofocus. Okay, now for you to get it in the video, but I will demonstrate. I will take it out, and then I will refresh the browser. We'll see how you pay attention to details. Did you notice something now? No, not the blue line. If you look at the search box, okay, now it is not there. Look at the search box very well. I just refreshed the browser and you are seeing the search box. Now I'm going to reintroduce it, so you tell me what happened. So if I add autofocus and then I'm refreshing this, the cursor starts blinking inside the text box, so that once a user types, it starts picking what the user is typing, instead of the user coming to click on the text box first before typing. Alright, so view yours in a browser and see if you have the same thing that I have. If you have an error, try to fix it by yourself. Something is wrong. What is wrong with placeholder? Is this spelled correctly? Okay, continue then. So save. And then right click and view in a browser. I told you. So something is wrong somewhere. Delete this form, delete this web page, create it again. Go to Solution Explorer. That is where to delete. Right click on that the web page, delete. Say OK. Create it again. Make sure you have the name textbox.aspx. Not charging yet. Let this place not get burned too. I don't think it's charging yet. I don't think it's charging yet. The system is charging now. Why did it go so dim? You're not doing things, brother. What is it showing? You're the one that types that one now. Go to your phone. You do go 9 something. Are you not seeing it in the end? So, yeah, refresh. You've not added a button. So if I start rushing the way you want me to rush, I don't think you'll pick up. Is that where to add the button? Is that the button you're adding there? If you want to go forward, Control Y. This is my own button. then change the ID to be search BTN, change text to be go. If you have an internet connection available. Okay, I think I will demonstrate this. So I'll come back to the form at the search query. Are we cool? And then by the time I say go, we'll see what happens. We'll work on that later. Has it happened again?
Yes. It's not something.
So what else do I need to show you?
Okay, so you put this discussion. Is there any difference between
You tell me, is there any difference? Your own and my own, I don't know.
what's the editor? Let me show you something.
Okay.
Okay, that's blue line.
The blue line and the close. Okay. Is your browser up to date? If your browser is not up to date, you might have issues with that. Yeah. This is just properties of HTML5, which I told you is limited because you are not sure of the browser the user is going to be using. So it's better we use it, but at the same time, we create some other attributes that would help us should the user not be using the current browser. Okay, so we've done search. Next is email and URL. Have you ever gone to a website and then you put an email address and they tell you the email is not correct? So using HTML codes, I would show you how to achieve that. So now we've added this search. We'll go ahead after this div, the close div, we'll leave the search there. The close div, we'll go ahead and add another property, HTML tag, which is a div tag, and of course I want a space, so I'll use break. Yes, I'll use break, and I'll then add a text box again. Okay, I'll add two text boxes. So I will do the two of them at once. One, and then I'll add another one under it. Two. So I'll change the ID here to be email txt, and then I'll change the ID here to be URL txt. I'll go ahead, come here, and add this attribute is what gets that email from HTML5. That will query what the user has imputed to find out is it an email address. So it's very simple to achieve. some of those things you see when it is HTML5 is very simple to achieve. All you just need to do is to include type, which I introduced you to. You know, we have type search, right? So this time around, we will have type equal to email. That's all. And then for this one, for the URL, we have type equal to. Now, this is why I wouldn't want to
So
do
it's
that.
correct. It's in this TX.
TXT. TXT is just simply means text
No,
box.
this is correct. What is TX?
Where did I read? This is TX and T.
Yes, no, this email is
Email, T. Anything, just name it something you can remember.
okay.
Do you understand? No, it doesn't have any meaning. It's so that when we want to collect this attribute email and impute it in the database, because we're going to do that, you want to, the only way you can get what is in this text box is using the ID of the text box, because we are running at server. Running at server enables you to code and tell the server, get what is in this text box for me. When the user imputes the thing, say get what is in. If there is no ID, so which text box are you referring to? Okay, so here I'm going to put type equal to URL, and then I'll save this. If I refresh my browser, the two text boxes will appear, and then I'll try putting a wrong email address. They are appearing side by side. I can go ahead and make sure it appears under by just coming here and put a BR to make sure it just comes down to the next line. I can go ahead still and refresh. If I do that, now the first one is for the email, the second one is for, they are together so much. Yeah, it's for the URL. So I'll put double BR. We'll stop using BR very soon, and I'll show you how to add margins and padding and the rest of them. So here I'll try to input something that is not a text, something that is not an email address, and something that is not a URL, and I'll hit go. So when the user inputs something and wants to submit the form, it will tell you what you have entered is not an email address. @ is missing. Now, if I correct that one at g.com, something that looks like an email, it will tell me this is not a URL. Okay, then if I want it such that, like we did in the last class, there is nothing here and I don't want the form to be submitted, I can go ahead and add an attribute here and call it required. Is in the video. We already treated this in the last class. If I add the required and save, if I come back here and refresh and I go ahead and put the email address at gmail.com and then add a URL, and then if I still want to submit, it will tell me that the first text box is required, so I can't submit an empty form. Is in the video. I just added required here, and that's all. So create your own. Let me see. Have you created your own, or you are still looking at mine? So if you've achieved that, I think we are done for now.
Sorry.
If you've achieved that, you can go through the PDF and see other types that we can add. There's other type attributes that we can add to the text box. If we want the date time to display weeks, all we just need to do is to add type equal to week. If we want it to display month, we can go ahead and add type equal to month. And then if we want it to display colors, we can go ahead and add type equal to colors in the text box that we want the colors to appear. If we achieve that, we'll talk about audio and video, how to play audio and video online. So we would add these buttons. We'll get to play music via the website, and we'll get to play a video via the website. We can use any of these attributes when we design, because when you go to the website, you would see some of these features there. So we are just looking at the features, and very soon we'll stop looking at features and properties and understanding tools, and we'll start coding. All right, I believe you should have finished that now. I'll go ahead and add a new web form and call it audio. Okay, let me wait for you to finish. Okay, the other one is saying required. Why is it red? Search. Okay, added required. Okay, so is the email. So let's put something on the required, and then let's see if it will tell us that our email is. You see that? All right.
Okay, but sir, there's something I want to understand here. About this email and here, where are the symbols?
Yes.
So, this thing was
Did you add the required or email address? It's telling that it's not an email address. Please fill it email address. I don't want to see that here. So that one is email address. If you put a correct email address and then you put a correct, if you put a correct email address without a URL, when you click submit or go, as in the case, it will tell you that this is not a correct URL. Do you understand? So I'll add a new item and call it audio. Audio.aspx, and we have this. So it's very simple. Like, we have the codes here already in the PDF. I'll just go ahead and get everything here that is inside the body tag. Everything that is inside the body tag, that's in between the body open and body close. So if I get everything there, I'll come to the page I just created and add it. I created a page and called it audio because I want to achieve audio controls and play audio via the page. Yes. No, I created another web page and called it audio. Okay, I'm already doing view in C. I wanted to do format section, so it will get it this way for me. So now I have the audio added, but if you look at this, I don't have any song to play. So I'm waiting for you to add the audio. So in order to be able to play an audio, I'll go ahead to show you how you can play an audio on how you can go ahead and play an audio. So I'll get one of Ty Tribbet's song and then I'll copy it. You are getting everything in between the body tag. So from audio to div close. If I get Ty Tribbet's song like I have on my system, I'll come back to the folder that contains the sites. Okay, I don't know why that is not working. Is this not working? Okay, so do you have any song on your system? So copy one of the songs, any of the songs you have on your system. Can you copy from there? Copy. Okay, so go to the folder that contains the site. That's the site folder. My site folder is this. See, all the pages I've been creating is here. I'll just paste the song I copied here in the site folder, then return to Visual Studio. I said go to the site folder. This is the site folder. It's on my desktop. I pasted the song here. This is not the one you've been working with. Where is this site? Where is this site? PVC. Where is it? Go to this folder PVC. Add paste the song here. Return to Visual Studio. Refresh what you have. Yes. See this one. So, like we pasted in the folder, I'm going to refresh. The song is here. So what I will do is I'll get to add the song and then see if it will play. If you add yours and it doesn't play, gang, you know why. Okay, so what I did is to be able to get the song name, I just dragged from there into yes, I just dragged, then drop it somewhere somewhere down, yeah, somewhere anywhere there. Just no. Drop it anywhere here. Just remove your hand from it. Thank you. Now I'm going to get the name of the song only.mp3. I'll cut it because I'm going to delete this. And then I'll change it. I'll replace it because this is a song we don't have ARVND. So I'll change it. I can remove this one, it's not necessary because the song is not in .ogg. It's an audio type. We don't have the song in .ogg. So if I do that and then save this and view this in a browser, I would have an audio to play. If this one finishes loading, it's already playing for me. It has volume controls. I can decide to increase or reduce the volume. I can decide to pause. I can decide to download the song from here. Download manager is already active. Let download this song. Copy the source. What is inside the source code? So get your own to play. If you do that, you don't want to just copy it. And replace it with everything. If you want that, you need to first one. You don't have any folder. Now delete this. What did you copy? This is the name I said you should copy. And you put it on anything. Now you going to be data, you can already see that thing for how to go there, existing for this is what it means. If you click on the book page, now let's say I say copy what is in the copy the source. So now get this right. Which is the name of the song you want to play. Get the rest, leave it on MP3. So you in a browser and say if have you saved? You're supposed to view it in a browser. Have you viewed this page before? This is the audio. So is your own playing? Click on the play button, not that one, not putting the button to work. It's not playing. There's something wrong with your song.
Yeah, push.
It's not playing. So if you want to add audio, that's how you add audio, and then the source control. Using the aspx, I can go ahead and come down here and just add a div. By the time I close, just the way I dragged the audio, I can also do this, and it will have ASP control, audio source controls equal to yes. You can either drag and drop that way, or you go ahead and type all of this. So if I did that and save, it will show the two audios appearing on the site. So I'll have this first one here, and I'll have the second one here. So I'll pause this first one and play the second one. It's the same song. I can say autoplay to be false. Okay, let's leave autoplay out for now. We'll get there when we want to use this control. So the next that I would want to achieve is the video. Inside the div tag, where you built, that's the div tag. Inside it, that is the second div tag we created. There is nothing else, just save. It will show you the little control. Here, we'll have to code these buttons to make them work and play a song when we say play, and when we say plus, and when we say increase volume. But we are not coding buttons now, we are just looking at the controls. We'll soon get to. So go to your browser and refresh. To say OK. Now there is something wrong with this. So let me see. Come here. Let me see where this is speaking it as. Okay, on that. Just on that. Yes, there. So yeah, okay, speaking it as a link. So if you don't work that way, you have to upgrade to Visual Studio 15 to be able to achieve the way I just achieved it. You understand? Alright. So Visual Studio IntelliSense knew that what I was dragging is an audio and creating an audio control for me immediately. So it's not working that way for you. So that means each time you want to get an audio, you must have to type it. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and add the video, of course, on a new web form. I'll add video.aspx. I just like separating concerns, and video.aspx, and we'll add a video control. Now I'll go to the PDF and get the video control. So for the video control now, I would copy everything from the head tag to the body tag. And please copyright. So this is the head tag. Now because of this break, I'll first of all copy from here to here and stop. Return here, see how I'm pasting. Paste. Okay, don't copy that way. If you copy that way, you won't paste well. So what I will do is that I'll copy the style, just the style, and I'll put it in the header or in the head. I can format section, and then the next thing I'll do is to copy the video. I'm going to copy the video twice, so I'll get this, come here inside the div, paste this, okay. I don't know why that is not working for me here. And then I'll go back here and get video close and this guy down here, and after this I'll paste that. Yes, to div close. Okay, so I have now. If you look at Sony on the line, all right. Now your style, you need to put dot video. Put a dot before the video in the style. Go up. Okay. Now, what video is not supported. This other error message is it will still work. What we'll now do is to get a video. I hope you have a video on your system. So the way we added this here, so I'll go to video, I'll look for any video I have. I don't know if I have this anymore, or any short video anywhere. Okay, so I'll pick this particular short video, Ctrl C, and I would return to the folder of the site and paste that video untitled 14.avi. If I return here, just the way we did for audio, you refresh, the video will be here, it's showing already, I would want to get the source, or if I don't want to do the dragging, I can easily come here on source, go to property, and I can change the source, and then I can take this out. So I'm showing you two ways to get stuff done. If I save that and then come to the browser, view it in the browser, the video should play. If it's not playing, then something is wrong. Okay, mine is not playing. So you do yours and let's see if yours is going to play. Your own. Okay. So on the source, you go on the source, right? So go to property. No, you don't have property in the system. So there is a property. And double click on it to add. Okay. So now click on that source. So that it should show as where you are. Property, is not showing. So let's add this to the added audio. Yeah. So right here. So get it and then paste. And then you delete the other ones. Okay, so save and view. Let's see if the video is going to play. Yours is playing. So congratulations. Mine is not playing. So I know why. I don't want to go into it. If I wanted the video to play. So now we've done video and you've seen how to put a video. I'm going to skip drag and drop and all these other ones.
I want to show you something.
Okay.
You know, just this. What is this?
You can drag this from here to here and it will move. And you can move this from here to here. When you do this, when you get this code running, this code here now, when you get it running, you will be able to. It's very simple. I can quickly show you. I'll get what is in the head. And I'm going to use the video this thing to do it. Now I've copied a lot. I think I copied it 2 times. I don't know. I don't know what I copied. Okay, I'll get rid of this and this. Because I pasted 2 times. Definitely. I cannot delete something again. Interesting.
Yeah, sir. There's one thing I want to show you here.
Okay.
Just tell me this. Something like maybe as I space this thing out, maybe I just want to put this thing, this particular thing, and send this in this content. I just want to sorry here. So then
On that.
yeah.
It's possible now. Calm down. We're getting there. Okay, now I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what is wrong with my Visual Studio. It's behaving weird and funny. Okay, so I'll go ahead and delete this. You can try that at home. It should work exactly how it is written on the PDF. So the next thing I want to show you is CSS animation. You can try geotagging at home. Geolocation enables us to track down our physical presence at any place. The information assists us in letting people know about our location. The user can decide whether the information regarding the location may be shared or not, as it will be prompted accordingly. So if you want to know where somebody is visiting your site from, you can use geolocation. And of course, geolocation, before the person gets access, it will ask the user, do you want to share your location with this person? Yeah, that kind of thing. But we'll leave geolocation just like this. Latitude and longitude, this is allow. It will show you exactly that your location access is on the system.
Also, I want to ask you something based on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I add this thing on the website now, maybe
The location. There is no way you can do it now. If you don't accept the location, it's by choice. You can't choose. You can't lock out except you say if this site is not being visited by somebody from this location, let the URL not open. That's a different.
What does it mean that someone if I want to replace them, then they will constantly
What is asking you is cookies. Cookies, that's a different this thing altogether. Where it asks you to accept cookies, that this site uses cookies and it's used to.
no again if you need to ask it to accept because allow this also out to access your application.
That's mobile app, right? Mobile app, not website. Website, you can't do that on website. Okay, so I'll go ahead to this. Now we are going back to CSS. No, down. The CSS is down and is in page. Okay, it's in chapter 6. We are going down to chapter 6 now. CSS transitions. We stopped at flex, right, and all those things. So we'll go back to our flex folder or our flex page. We'll be able to change the colors when you hover a mouse on a particular flex item. I'm in chapter 6, that's where I am. So we have all of that, and we are going to include something that is missing in our flex item. And that is the transition property. So you work with WebKit transition a lot. So background color line. So I'll now come to Visual Studio, open Flex. I hope you have your Flex box. If you've not done that, this is not the folder you've been working with, is it? Again. So quickly add a new folder and call it Flexbox. That is what you will do. Okay, added. So we'll get this. You have to get the style, or you type it either one. That's a style hash flex container background silver, and then get the flex item. For me, I'm just going to get this because I already have the other codes existing. So you have to get everything there. So I'm going to make it work in Flexbox 2. I want the transition to occur in Flexbox 2. If you're getting everything, be careful on how you are getting everything. Remember, there are some Visual Studio codes you must not delete, like the form and the run at server. So if you delete them, that means you have to add them again. So if I've gotten that, if you want to type this, you can go ahead, look at it and type. And then I would get this. But remember, where I am adding this is on flex item 2 for myself. I'm doing mine in flex item 2 because I have about 3 flex items, and we want to say what happens when you hover at flex item 2. So this will be flex item 2 hover. So in case you are using flex item 2 just like I am using here, I'll go ahead and call in flex item 2 because it was commented out from our last class. So I'll call it in and then get the ID to be 2. No, you leave it that way. Leave your own the way it is. I am working from what we had in the last class, which you do not have that on your system because it was there. You are the one that knew what happened to it. Now go ahead and have you gotten the other? Okay, the alpha and the beta. So save and then view it in a browser. If I do that, it will show me the 2 boxes. Okay, so you try to hover your mouse on beta. Okay, so try for alpha. Alright. So maybe I will need to do a little more corrections here to know what is happening. Alright, let me look at the code again. Okay. Yes. Okay. No. No. You won't copy the whole of that. You will not copy the whole of that. Do you know why? The style is already there. What you just need to do is to reference it. What do I mean reference the style? Reference the style. This is flex item, right? So all I just need to do, if I add any div that I want it to take the properties, I'll just have to put the ID flex item that thing. Do you understand? If I want to, instead of these 2, I'll say flex item 3. That if I want it to do something else. Okay, now you look. I want to see if this has corrected what I wanted, and okay. So now I have alpha and beta. The backgrounds are the same. Did you notice in mine that when I put my mouse on alpha, nothing happens, but when I move to beta, something happens? This is because I only said, but yours goes to the browser. Yours, you said ID for the div and this other div should be, that's for this div and this div should be flex item. And then you said let's flex item when it is hovered change to red, and you have the same ID, but I wanted my own to happen in only one flex box, so I have to specifically tell it I want the transition to only occur in flex item 2. So I have to say flex item 2 over and put the transition control in flex item 2. I can change the duration from 3 to 4. Transition duration, the duration it will use to change, and then transition web key transition duration, I'll change it also to 4. That is to take 4 seconds. If I go to the browser and refresh, but now when you go to your app, you will notice. See what I was saying. So flex item, flex item. Where is the code supposed to happen? Flex item. So if I wanted it to happen in only one, I have to give that one a different name and say that flex item hover, do this.
Maybe if I want to put another box to make it type as another item,
yes.
make it true. As an how am I to add it here?
Just duplicate this. It will give the third one.
And you still have the same control.
Now it will still have the same style, not control. It will still have the same style of all the other this thing you've been adding. That's all. So after the last div, yes, now div id flex item. Save it, view it in a browser. The third control will show. Except you want to give it another name, but you will see it's alpha, beta, alpha. So just save. You are seeing it there. Now increase the size of the other one. Your flex container. Up. First, what's the size there? You are seeing width 200. Okay, so go up 500. Increase it to 1000. Okay. Save. Okay, so come back to the browser. Okay, that has increased and it is up there. ID is do you notice what I'm talking about? So we are giving it a different ID, type 1. Now if you give it a different ID, type 1, you will have to come to style and tell it what you want from type 1. You say hash type 1. Then you tell it what you want in hash type 1 background color. Do you understand? Take this one, take this height, take this. That's the only way it will show. Do you understand? Now I don't want to just copy the flex item and replace for you. This div 1, I can now tell it.
Because I just copy one, flex item.
Flex item, yes. You can use anything. We are just calling it flex item for you to know that it is. If you give it any name, come to this style. That name you gave it, tell it the property you want. So the one, I'll say background. So you type background color. Give it a background color, give it a height, give it a width, give it a margin.
What about the transition?
The transition will only happen for where the transition will happen. Now the transition will only happen for flex item. Anyone that has an ID, flex item. Now if you want the transition to also happen for div 1, you have to get this transition property and put it there in div 1 so that it will also happen in div 1. And then when you finish, you now come here and say div 1 hover, because it's when you move your mouse that it will change. So div 1 hover, tell it change background color or something else. So I'm waiting for you to achieve that. Okay, so with this, we have come to the end of the first part. Go ahead and pause.